Figure out how to. Oh, there we go. Recording in progress. Oops. So, yeah. I don't know if you listened to the interview I did with mom, but I kind of just wanted to, I don't know, get your life from your perspective. And looks like you're Oh, yeah, you're not frozen. I don't know. You can tell it however you want it, and we'll go chronologically. Yeah, just to get you to know you as like a person rather than a parent, you know?
My
So,
life as a kid, or
yeah.
like,
Yeah, with mom we started, I mean, talking about her parents too, kind of their personalities and how their personalities shaped her. So, maybe you could start there too, like how you think that your parents' personalities shaped you in childhood, I guess.
um, yeah, well, I don't know. Do you want me just to start talking about like how old, or I don't know, like,
Yeah. Just like childhood. What do you remember from childhood? And
um,
yeah.
so I don't remember too much like younger, but me and Don were kind of raised as twins. We'd have like wear the same Halloween costumes, we'd wear the same clothes, we do like they just really kind of, I don't know. We were just like raised the same way basically, but I don't know. I don't remember my parents having a whole lot of money. I remember us running out of food all the time, and like we would eat really like name brand stuff like Cheerios or Wheaties or uh we didn't like my mom would buy fruit. I remember her buying fruit. My dad did a lot of the cooking when I was growing up because apparently my mom couldn't cook, or at least that's what he said. My dad kind of threw her under the bus a lot when he was healthy. But so I don't know. Uh, but my dad, let's see, he just really encouraged us to be into sports, and he was just kind of like he tried to put his views on us. Like when he was in high school, I guess he punched a kid to get in the starting five on basketball, and he wanted us to be the same way, but I just never was like that really. So,
Yeah.
and I think basketball was kind of, I don't know, kids nowadays they play video games and they're on the computer and they're into social media or whatever, but back in the day we didn't really have anything. We had like I think we had like a game. What did we have? We had an Atari, so we played like asteroids and just really simple games, and the games weren't that exciting, so a lot of times we would just play them for a while and then get sick of them and go
Yeah.
out and shoot baskets. So, like from an early age, I just really liked like Larry Bird was very popular, and so I would try and go out and shoot like him, and I'd try and shoot an hour a day, and I try and go to like 3 basketball camps a year, and actually had a paper route. Um, and I had a paper route from second grade through eighth grade. So I'd deliver papers. And then when I was in seventh grade, I had a paper route and worked as a bag boy at Brolam's. And I'd stock shelves and stuff like that. And so I was, let's see, seventh grade, how old would I have been? 14, maybe.
Yeah, something
Um,
like that.
So like I had a real job. Like I don't know, you could drive when you were 14 too. So
Really?
a lot of times I'd ride the bike, or my parents would let me drive the truck across town or whatever, and I would just go work 3 or 4 days a week, and then I was trying to play sports too. So sometimes I'd try and work all day and then go play sports, and that didn't work very good. And
So, sorry, do you feel like your parents instilled that work ethic in you, or was it something you naturally just kind of wanted to do?
so I remember when my neighbor got a job and I really wanted a job. And so my dad was like paying me to wash all the windows and stuff. So money always kind of motivated me. Like would I would work extra hard on the rock picking because they said they'd give the guy $5 more at the end of the day. And so I was out there killing myself trying to get the rocks and get the bonus, you know. But
Mm.
I don't know, it's kind of dumb. But yeah, money kind of motivated me. I'd try and, I don't know, work as many hours as I could. I actually like work better than I like sports, really. But um,
Mm.
like in fact, my junior year, I'd rather get money than go play on a losing football team and get yelled at. So I decided to work as much as I could. So
Mhm. So do you think you mentioned that you guys would run out of food? Do you think that
yeah.
was related to wanting to work a lot and being interested in money? Or
Um, well, yeah, to have my own money, I guess, because my parents didn't really. I mean, I don't know. I guess we splurged. And my dad kind of splurged. Like we had one of those Kit Kat little mini snowmobiles, and we had a three-wheeler. My dad had a boat. So those are things that I didn't have when I was older because I was borrowing my dad's stuff. But in fact, it just seems like my parents had more money. Maybe because the economy was better and the dollar actually bought something. But now it just seems like you work forever and you don't have anything to show for it. You know, spend all your money on groceries. So
yeah. It's like enjoying your mortgage, right? They're like, what are you going to do this weekend? I'm going to enjoy my mortgage. Just I'm going to stay home.
yeah, um, yeah, it's kind of I don't know, and I've been dumb with money too. I had our house paid off twice, and I still owe money on it. So I don't know, but
Hmm.
I'm pretty much sick of work. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind it, but it's not. I'd rather do something fun, which like I don't know. Some people will work till they die, and that's not my idea of life. So,
Yeah. Well, did you have any shared interest with your parents? I know Gramps took you hunting
oh yeah.
and I don't know, and water skiing and things like that. But
So with
you and Granny both like plays, it seems like.
I didn't like plays. I was just in all her plays, but yeah, Granny would get me in all her plays. So I was probably in like 15 plays or something, and they were both into music, so they really tried to push me in choir. And so I was in choir for 4 years, and I tried out my sophomore year for the swing choir, which is where you go sing in front of everybody and people pay money and you go to rest homes and you do go to Disneyland and stuff like that. And so
Hmm.
I couldn't do my part very good because my voice was hadn't really I hadn't really hit puberty, so my voice was really weak. And um
Hmm.
so anyway, Granny came and got me off the trampoline because I was trying to hide from the tryouts. And so I went and tried out, and the only reason I got on the thing was I was about the only one that tried out. And I guess that was the best thing about Soda Springs was it was small enough that if I wanted to do something, I could do it. So I could be in sports. Like I was in everything. I was in sports, football, choir, ski club, um, drama, or whatever. So I did a lot of stuff like that. But with Gramps, I think you can hunt when you're 12. My dad bought me a knife, which I still have. And when I got my Eagle Scout, he bought me a 270 rifle. When I turned 14, he bought me a shotgun. And then he gave me a 22. So my dad tried to give me guns to get me to hunt, and then I would go hunting with him. And it was pretty fun. It was easier to hunt back then because there was actually more animals. But now you just fight all the people and stuff. So I still like to hunt though, but
Yeah.
nice to
Um,
get out.
did you get anything this year?
Yeah, I got a lot of exercise.
You got out of the house.
Yeah, I
That's
got
what you
out of
got.
the. No, this year I mostly caught all kinds of. I caught probably 50 fish or something, which my goal was to go fishing once a week, but I wish I could have done more, but we had our trip out west, and so a couple of those days I could have actually hunted more elk or deer, but the season kind of ended early for me and I didn't bow hunt, but because I had all my little health problems going on.
Yeah, gotcha. So, who would you say of your two parents shaped your personality the most? Or do you feel like you feel like you're like neither of them? Does that make sense?
Um, so they're both into music, so that kind of shaped me, but I don't know because they made me do stuff. Like I played the piano also from second grade till about a senior, and so I'd always play for church and I'd play for state conference and I used to play the piano like once a week in church, and I would play for like I actually did a couple of solos where I actually was the accompanist, and that was kind of my dad and mom pushing me into music, and by my mom pushing me into drama, I don't know, it kind of made me not want to do it. I did it, but I don't like doing those things because I was made to do it, kind of, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It sounded like there was a lot of pressure to do a lot of things.
yeah,
And it feels like if there is a lot of pressure, it becomes less enjoyable unless you can just choose what you want to do and just focus on that, I guess.
right.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I actually kind of bonded more with my dad. You know, he was into water skiing and stuff like that. He was into fishing, which we'd go like he was a school teacher, so when spring hit, he would take us on the boat, me and Don, and he'd buy us all kinds of junk food, and we'd just eat junk food and fish while we trolled, you know, and we did that 2 weeks out of the year. So my parents, like growing up, we actually ate like goose meat and duck, and we ate fish, and we ate like deer and elk and moose all the time. So we ate a lot of wild meat, and I think my dad pretty much did that because I think back in the day you could shoot like two deer. So he was the master butcher. He could cut everything up and we would package it up ourselves, you know. And so I don't remember buying a ton of hamburger from the store. We just eat like whatever we killed, I guess, out in the field. Maybe we didn't eat that much. It just seems like we ate a lot of wild meat when I was growing up. We'd
Yeah.
eat beef once in a while because Sunday dinners we'd always eat roast, and Don would complain about it. So like now it's like $100 a roast. So I wonder if he still complains.
Well, it sounds like you grew up on the frontier almost, eating so much wild game. Like you were in the Wild West, kind of, but you're not that old.
Not really. It's just that Soda Springs, you could hop in your car and within 5 minutes you're hunting, you know, and there was lots of animals. So we'd just go on a little road trip or a little road drive. Like you could drive on the road and shoot something. And nowadays you can't really do that. You have to, I mean, you can, but there's just so many people that you're better off just hiking in somewhere, getting away
Mhm.
from them all. But I don't know.
Yeah. Makes sense. So did you like through childhood and then high school, did you like where did you see yourself being as an adult? Did you see yourself staying in Soda Springs or did you want to leave or
Um, so I did. So the one thing I knew on my life was I wanted to go on a mission. I knew up to that point that I was going to just go to 1 year of college and go on a mission. And but when I got back, my parents had moved to Rexburg, and I didn't have any friends at all. Um, I only had a few friends in high school too. I really just had this uh, Tim down the street, and I don't know. We hung out all the time, but we're not even friends now. So I don't know. But it was kind
Well,
of weird. I got off my mission. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I still feel like I don't know what I want to do with my life. Um, Other than I have this idea of like getting a van and just hitting all the state and national parks and maybe going traveling like about every 3 months to like maybe Costa Rica or South America. And I've been trying to talk Julie into going to Lima, Peru, possibly.
uh,
So we might do that. I don't know, but did
yeah.
that answer the question?
I forgot what the question was. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
did you
did I
see
know what I
yourself
wanted to do?
leaving Soda Springs, or did you see yourself being a miner there? Are most people miners there? What do they do?
um, so my parents were school teachers, but yeah, there's you're either a farmer or you work at Monsanto, Becker, Kerr-McGee, and so we had a bunch of rich people in our class, but my parents seemed to be the only poor ones, because they were
Hmm.
like school teachers or whatever. And I don't know, I still think about this. Like the first girl that I actually dated or whatever, her dad was a dentist, and she kind of jerked me around, I think. I mean, I don't know. I thought she jerked me around for me, but it might be because of our economic status kind of like thing. It was a little bit of discrimination there, but maybe not. I don't know.
It's hard to say when kids are just being kids, I guess, when you're like 17, right?
Yeah, because she wanted someone that could support her, and I don't know. That my biggest problem is that I never knew what I wanted to do with my life. I just wanted to kind of have fun and make lots of money, but um, so my
Yeah.
plan is that all my XRP will go to $10,000 a coin now. So,
Yeah.
or if not, I'll try and live off of this crappy pension that I've earned, in a few years.
Yeah. Well, XRP is kind of low, so if you have some cash, you could buy some more.
I don't have any cash, so I'm just holding right now. But
Just holding.
yeah, it's supposed to take off.
All right. Did you have any like formative trips or anything when you were a kid where you traveled or
Oh, well, yeah, once we went to Yellowstone, but my parents didn't travel hardly at all. We never went anywhere. But the one thing that was a really big part of my childhood, believe it or not, was scouting. So I went to scout camp like 4 years, and I was in scouts all 4 years, and I became an Eagle Scout, but I got 15 merit badges beyond Eagle Scout, and my Eagle project was I painted the roof over the Dinky engine, which they found in the bottom of the Soda Springs Lake. That was my Eagle project, and then Don painted the part of the train, I think, or something. But anyway, so a lot of things I would help other people do their Eagle projects too. So I spent a lot of time like building amphitheaters and just doing Eagle projects. But
yeah. Wait, so they found the train engine, it had derailed and fallen into the lake or what?
so they built the dam, and the dam covered the engine, but the engine was used to, I'm not even sure what it was used for,
Hmm.
but that lake right there is a man-made lake. It's a reservoir or whatever. So, but
Hmm.
yeah, I don't
Hmm.
know.
What about like any like books or TV shows or movies that were impactful for you?
So that's another thing where my mom was probably more influential. Well, my dad watched sports a lot, and that's why I like to watch sports. But like my mom would watch. We only had like three channels growing up, which is more than Julie. I think they had one channel, but we'd watch like Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Falcon Crest. Like I can still remember the lineup. I'd watch the Brady Bunch every day after school just because that was the only thing that was on. But that was a dumb show, the Brady Bunch. But the shows were not that great. Um, we'd watch Mr. T and the A Team and see, trying to think what else we watched. We so like movies were starting to be kind of popular, and we had one little movie theater in town. And I remember when Star Wars first came out, it was like a big deal. And this kid that we used to go to him for the babysitter, but anyway, he had every Star Wars figurine. He was one of my friends. He had them in the boxes, like he collected them back in the day. And he actually went and saw Star Wars 100 times, which
Really?
he thought was weird. And that was the first movie I'd ever saw twice, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know. They used to have big blockbuster things where people would stand in line to get in to go watch stuff, but I haven't been to a movie probably in, well, since the last time I was with you guys. That
Yeah.
was the last movie I went to. And before that, I hadn't really gone. Well, I think we went to two movies with you guys, right?
Did we? We watched Into the Woods in our house.
Oh, that's right. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, once in a while, Julie and I will watch a Hallmark, but those are pretty predictable. But
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it's interesting that you're talking about like the blockbuster people. I don't know, it seemed like people were more community oriented. They'd come together and watch a movie or I don't know.
well, they used to have those
Just-
video stores. They came on the scene, and so you used to spend like, I don't know. We didn't rent too many videos, but we just we got a VCR, and it was this big old clunky thing. And I think my mom paid like $2,000 for it, and then they would
Wow.
record everything on TV, and it was a piece of crap because it had you had to rewind and you know that type of thing. So, but my mom was really into media. Like my parents just expected us to do our schoolwork. I don't really remember, other than my mom wanted to help me with my English papers when I was a senior. They really didn't help me with school at all. I pretty much just would figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
So, and I was in some of the harder classes. But my senior year, I didn't take calculus or um, I didn't take physics. I ended up taking that at ISU, but I wish I would have taken it in high school. But I got to the point where no one could help me, and I didn't have any friends that were in advanced math, so I kind of dropped out, so to speak, and just took something else.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, they were probably sick of school by the time they got home, so they're like, I don't want to do any more school stuff.
yeah, it's kind of true. My
Yeah.
dad, well, he became a counselor because he was a band teacher. And I think he became a counselor because he just was tired of teaching. And same thing with my mom. She taught English and speech, and then she became a media specialist. So she just sat in the library all the time, didn't really, and she did her plays or whatever. But um,
Mhm.
yeah, that was it. I'd go into the library and I'd hide food in there because they couldn't feed me enough at the cafeteria. My mom never like packed a lunch or anything like that. We'd always eat in the cafeteria. So
Yeah. Do you miss America as it was like in the 70s and 80s compared to how it is now?
Um, I mean, there was a lot of problems you avoid. Like, I mean, we only had like one fat kid in our whole class, type thing, because there wasn't the processed foods that we have now.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I mean, it was easier to not get in trouble. But actually, Soda Springs had quite a bit of drugs, but I never got involved in drugs. I never smoked, never drank, never did drugs. But my brother Don tried speed in high school, and a lot of the kids in Soda Springs would try and drink and stuff like that. And I just never liked that crowd, so I just stayed away from it. But even now, I don't feel very comfortable and stuff. But anyway, I guess we'll
Yeah.
see it in Mexico here in a month.
Right. So I guess that kind of covers childhood, unless there's more you want to talk about. That's fine. But what about college and mission and that time period?
So
Was
like
it,
my yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, was it like, were you just focused on like self-improvement or just making money through college or I don't know.
Well, my freshman year, because I had those scholarships, I just studied, and I actually could, and I thought the classes were easier than high school, and I always wanted to have good grades. So grades in high school, I used to have all A's and like one B plus, and it was always in math. And then I got to college, and my GPA went up to like 3.8 my freshman year. But I was just taking all the classes that I'd already taken, and they kind of dumbed it down, I think, for freshman people. So I just thought it was easy, and I never had a job because before in high school I was always working. So I get off of work at 10 o'clock, and then I'd have to study for whatever test I had the next day. Because right after school I'd go work from 4 to 10, and then or I'd get up at 6 in the morning and try and study type thing. But college was nice. I had like a food scholarship, I had a housing scholarship, I had a book scholarship, um, and I could go down and get like a sandwich anytime at the main place because I had money on a card, and then the cafeteria. I think I could eat there like I think I could eat there 20 whatever 3 days 3 times a day, Monday through Friday, and then on weekends I could eat there twice. So that was a really good scholarship. Um, and then like my senior year, I decided to live off of campus with a bunch of other people that couldn't handle living on campus. It didn't bother me to live on campus by myself, you know. And I wish I would have just stayed because when I got roommates, I decided that my next roommate was going to be my wife because I didn't really like roommates because they're pigs and they steal your money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
um, but like, and then you asked about mission. So I actually really like my mission. I took a mission prep class at ISU, and at ISU I took probably 30 credits of institute classes. So I'd always take two every semester, and some
Mhm.
counted and some didn't. I just took them, hopefully meet that I would meet somebody, but
Yeah.
mostly for social stuff, not necessarily religious back then. But um, the cool thing about going to Peru is I was able to learn Spanish. I was in the MTC for 8 weeks in Provo, and
Mhm.
my first area was Tacna, or excuse me, no, it was yeah, it was Tacna, Peru, and now it's its own mission. So that was kind of cool. And then my second mission, my mission president thought I was a troublemaker because I complained about my first companion, and they
Uh-huh.
sent me to Lima South, and that area was called Chorrillos. And I thought it was interesting that they announced a Chorrillos temple because that place was a hole when I was there. And the other, the last place I served was actually in Nazca, um, and that place is they only had like 16 people going to church, and now it's a stake. So the growth has been amazing. But like I spent 13 months of my mission in the office, and I would
Mhm.
just go to the banks, wear a trench coat because it was kind of cold in the winter, and I would send money to missionaries, and I'd pick missionaries up at the airport at 3 in the morning and haul them
Mhm.
to their places. Um, and a lot of times in the office, we'd work till 10 o'clock at night. So there was a time where I actually had 8 baptisms while I was in the office, and the president chewed me out for doing too much missionary work and wanted me to do more office work. So, and I think that's why I worked for Social Security was I put that all on my resume, and it's kind of what I do now. Like I could actually go run a mission off of pretty easy because I know I I did it for like 13 months, the mission president. So,
Yeah.
but I didn't learn Spanish very good because I spoke mostly English on my mission. So, That's why
Mm.
my Spanish sucks.
Well, it's better than 99% of Americans, right?
That's
Well,
true.
of white Americans. Um, so were you ever homesick on your mission, or were you like just happy to be there?
Well, here's a story. So I go in the MTC and my parents, they dropped me off, but then they came down to, no, this was when they dropped me off. And so all the families are like hugging their kids, and I didn't really have a touchy-feely relationship with my parents. I've never hugged them or anything ever. Um, and so I thought, well, I better give them a hug. So I go to give my dad a hug and I accidentally stepped on his foot and he says, "Get out of here, Moby." And he pushes me away. And so I thought, well, good. I'm glad I don't have to see you for 2 years. And so I like my dad, but he's just kind of a jerk sometimes. But
Well,
it's like,
you're the son that stayed the closest to them.
yeah, I guess so. But anyway, but yeah, he called me Moby growing up because I would break everything if I was playing basketball, I'd injure whoever I was playing against, but not on purpose. I was just a big kid that was always trying to work hard. But
Yeah. So you didn't you were happy to be there, it sounds like, in Peru.
I actually liked it. That was like one of the best. I I really like the people. They're just different. Like um, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same way when you were down in Chile, but like you would walk down the streets and people would whistle and you were your friends and
You're kind of
everybody.
a celebrity.
Yeah, whereas in Soda, nobody looked at me twice. No, in the United States, nobody ever looked at me, but in down there, every one of them would like go all out and make you feel special, like type thing. So I actually
Yeah.
liked it. It's kind of a real boost for my self-esteem because I was kind of a loner in high school. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird to go from being a loner to being a celebrity, kind of.
yeah,
A local celebrity.
but they'd all like back when I was younger, they'd always comment on my blue eyes and stuff like that and stuff. Um, which is everywhere I went. They're like, "Oh my gosh, look at his eyes." But everybody had dark eyes, so they thought it was kind of cool that somebody had blue eyes, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, there probably wasn't a lot of foreigners in Peru at the time, I'm guessing.
no, there wasn't.
Like, you never saw any other non-missionary Americans, probably.
Yeah, I do. Actually, this was like the very last month of my mission, but I'm sitting on a bus and some Peruvian lady was trying to feed her kid, because they all breastfeed down there or whatever. And I remember some foreigners making fun of her, trying to, because like she's struggling with these kids, and I just thought, you guys are such jerks. And
Yeah.
I just saw through the eyes of the Peruvian people in that moment, but when I first went down there, I was probably not the most sensitive, like I prayed to love the people and it actually came true. Like I ended up really loving the people. I actually really do like Peruvian people. So,
Yeah.
but I couldn't say that before my mission, probably.
Well, you probably never had met any Peruvians before your mission.
I hadn't, but yeah, it's kind of like the Chinese. You just lump into one big basket, but I'm sure they're all different. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure there's regional differences in different regions of Peru. People have different cultures and maybe the language sounds a little different, the food's a little different depending on what part of the country you're in.
it's true. Like when I was out in the poorer parts, they were just more humble and stuff like that, and they were just easy to teach and very happy. Like these people had nothing but happy in my life. Like literally have nothing, and they're just in the best mood ever. I just
Yeah.
thought that was amazing.
Did they, it seems like when people are on the poorer side, they have to rely on each other a lot more. Does it seem like maybe they're happy because they were working as a collective instead of as individuals?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Latino culture. They take care of their old people, and there might be three, four families living in the same house, and the men will go work all week just to hardly have any food at all, and I think they're just happy. The women work and they wash stuff by hands, and maybe it's gotten better down there, but nobody had a washer and dryer. Nobody had a car. Nobody, about half of them didn't have running water or anything. Like I was in the hood a lot.
Yeah. The, yeah. So I'm too cheap to pay for Zoom, so the session's about to end, but we can do another call real quick and have like a part two if that's okay.
Okay.
You can have like a bathroom break and come back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
All right, cool. I'll stop the recording.